Hey everybody, welcome back to One More Guitar. Thank you for checking out the channel. Please remember to like and subscribe and comment. Now today I want to get into my first beginner guitar lesson. It was kind of difficult figuring out where to start. I could have spent weeks just talking about theory, but you know, that kind of bores people out of it. So I thought the way I'm going to do this is just take a practical approach of getting you into playing guitar. So I was trying to decide which to start with, tuning your guitar or how to hold the guitar. And so I figured you have to be able to hold the guitar to tune it. So that's where I'm going to start, is how to hold the guitar. So let's get into it. There isn't really a lot to tell you about how to hold the guitar. You really have two options. You can put it on your right leg or you can put it on your left leg. So I'll stop right here and say, obviously, if you're left-handed, things are going to be opposite here. But I'm right-handed, so I typically play on my right leg. And I've kind of been asking my friends about this too to see what they said, and they do the same. You know, most people that I know play on their right leg, and I think that's probably just a convenience factor or a comfort factor. You can also play on your left leg. I really think classical guitarists usually play like this more often. So most guitar players I know play over here on the dominant side. So really that's all you need to know. You just rest the guitar where it's on your leg and do what's comfortable to you. You're going to hear me say that over and over again in these lessons. Your comfort really matters. So do what's comfortable to you, and I'll try to guide you away from some bad habits. But basically, hold the guitar the way you feel comfortable holding the guitar. So for me, that's on my right side. The one thing you want to be aware of when it comes to holding the guitar is that the guitar is facing forward. It's really easy, especially when you first start playing, that you're trying to get your chords right or you're trying to play some notes and you start looking at it and the guitar starts turning and turning. And the next thing you know, you're sitting there doing this. You don't realize that you've turned the guitar completely up so you can look at the fretboard. Now, don't beat yourself up over doing that because, you're going to have to look when you're learning. Just make sure that when you're looking at it, you're using the dots on the side of the fretboard. That's really what you want to do to figure out where you're at. Again, when you're a beginner, the guitar is going to start turning, and that's okay when you're practicing. Just try to be conscious of it and realize once you learn what you're trying to learn, that you need to straighten the guitar back up. And try to remember to keep the guitar straight. Past that, I think any way you hold the guitar, as long as you can reach the neck, I think you're going to be fine. You don't want to hold it upside down. Well, I guess Jimi Hendrix did that. Okay, we'll cut that out. We'll cut that out. Okay, the next thing I want to go over is how to hold a pick. And again, this isn't rocket science, but I'll go over it just so you know the right way to do it. So if you can see the pick, it's a triangle shape, and two of the corners are fairly rounded, and one of them's kind of pointed. Now, that's not always the case. Some picks, every corner is exactly the same. Doesn't matter, I guess. But if your pick has a point to it, take that point, make a hand like this with your thumb on top and place the pick in there and then turn your hand towards the guitar. You want the tip of the pick, I'll show you here, you want the tip of the pick here to be resting over the strings directly. That's how you hold a pick, and you just place it over the string, and when you want to ring a note out, you just pluck the string, just like kind of a snapping motion. What's important when it comes to plucking the string is that it's all in the wrist. It's not in the arm. It's very little movement when it comes to plucking a string. So again, you place the pick over the top of the string, you put a little pressure, and you pluck it. Okay, another thing to know about holding the pick is that you don't want to death grip it. What happens when you do that is you get a harder sound on the string. See how it's kind of harsh? If you loosen up a little bit and let the pick, wiggle a little bit in your hand, hold it tight enough to where you're not going to drop it, but let the pick wiggle a little bit in your hand. You can tell if I play with a softer grip, I can even loosen it up a little bit. Where I've got a little bit of play in there. How hard you hold the pick definitely affects your tone. You may want that hard sound in some cases, or you may want the soft sound, or you may want to swap between them. You don't always want to death grip the pick. You want to be able to apply and release pressure. You don't want to hold it so loose that it's hitting other strings when you're playing. So that's basically the balance you have to find. Another thing I should tell you about plucking the strings is not only can you pluck down, but you can pluck up. So here's a down pluck, and here's an up pluck. It may not sound too different to you right now, but when you're playing different styles of music, upstrokes and downstrokes can definitely give you a different feel. So it's just something to be aware of. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is how to strum. And this is very similar to picking, except you're doing it on more than one string. Sometimes you use all the strings, sometimes you only use some of the strings, but the action's basically the same. Instead of plucking one string like this, what you do is you rake the pick across all of the strings. Just like plucking, you can also do that in an up direction. So you can pluck down, you can pluck up, you can strum down, and you can strum up. Again, make sure you're not death gripping the pick when you're doing this, because this is what it sounds like when you do a strum with the death grip. Not very good, not very good. So it won't take you long to get the feel for the pick, but just know at first you may have some harsh sounds that you're going to hear, just because it takes a little time to get used to this. All of this stuff takes some time to get used to. Just be patient and practice, and you'll get it a lot faster than you think you will. Okay, so I want to teach you a very simple chord so you can practice plucking and strumming before the next lesson. So this chord's called E minor. And that's what it sounds like when you strum it. And you can see, maybe you can see, that I'm only holding down 2 notes to make this chord. I'm strumming every string, but I have to hold down 2 notes to make the chord. The notes you have to hold down are on the 2nd fret of the 2nd thickest string, 2nd string from the top, and the 2nd fret of the 3rd thickest string, which is the 3rd string from the top. I'll try to get a close-up here so you can see what I'm playing, and I will also show the chord on the screen right now. Just these 2 notes. Okay? So since you may not have played notes before, I'll say that what you want to do to play a note is when you press the string down, press it as close to the metal bar as you can. I mean, your fingers are going to get in the way of each other, so just get as close as you can to them. Again, you don't have to death grip. Just make sure that the strings are pressed down. And if you want to see if the strings are pressed correctly, you can pluck them individually. So just pluck the 2nd thickest string with the note pressed down and make sure you can hear the note. If you hear this, you're not pressing hard enough. It's hard to tell if you're pressing too hard, but there's a difference there too. You really just want the string to press down on the metal bar. So you just press the strings down until you hear a note. A clear note. Okay? What I want you to do is start at the thickest string and pluck each string all the way down. Okay? Then I want you to start at the bottom and pluck up. Every string up. Okay? Then I want you to strum down. And then I want you to strum up. So the exercise goes like this, and take it as slow as you can, or as slow as you need to, for you to get it right. And by get it right, I mean when you pluck the notes, you shouldn't have any other notes ringing out, and the note you're plucking should ring out. Here's what I want you to do, and I want you to do it slowly. Make sure you hit every string. And if you're having trouble with that, forget the E minor chord. Just do it with the strings open. Practice running the pick up and down the strings. Do strums and do plucks and do it in both directions. And just take your time. I hope this was helpful to you, and if you really are a beginner, please keep coming back. We're going to get further and further into this, and I'm hoping to get you playing pretty soon. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate you checking out the channel. Take it easy and keep playing.